And that one, yeah. Oh, okay. All right, we call the meeting to order, Plymouth City Council for Thursday, July 10th. And if we could, at 6:30, if we could have a roll call.
Councilmember Cranford.
Here.
Councilmember Hornish.
Here.
Vice Mayor Nunn.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
All right, if I can get everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At item 2, approval of City Council regular meeting agenda of July 10th, 2025.
So did you have any items that you wanted to, do you want to go ahead with your, I think you had a statement ready.
Yeah, for time tonight, we're going to pull a couple items. We're gonna, oh, yeah. There we go. Sorry. The first time I've had to do this. Okay. Number one, I want to let people know, and some of you may have heard, some maybe not. City Manager Margaret Roberts is dealing with a family emergency and therefore is not here tonight. At this point, we expect she'll be back at our next meeting. And in the meantime, our thoughts were with her and her family. In Margaret's absence, I'll be recommending to the rest of the council that we continue items 7.2, 8.1, and 9.2 to our next meeting on July 24th when we get to approval of the agenda.
Which we're at now.
What's that?
That's the next item,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, so
I motion to approve the amended city council agenda for July 10th, 2025.
Second.
okay, we have a motion and roll call.
Councilmember Cranford.
Aye.
Councilmember Hornish.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Nunn.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Okay, at this time, we're going to open the floor to public comment. Any citizen wishing to address City Council for any matter not on the agenda can do so at this time. And I remind everybody, we at this time have a 3-minute time limit.
And one other recommendation, if anybody was here to speak on those items that you moved to the next meeting, I'd encourage them to speak at this time as well, just out of respect for their time, so they don't have to wait for when it would have come up on the agenda.
Yeah.
For their opportunity, just to give them a chance to speak on that now, if they had a comment on those items that got pulled.
Okay, that's, yeah. Thank you for bringing that up, Andres. So anybody who wishes to speak, please step up and before. Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to read them off, but we'll let people come up.
Yeah, Greg Wood, former heat plant wastewater operator for the city of Plymouth. I just wanted to thank the council. Oh, sure. Can you hear me okay now? I just wanted to thank you, council, for resolving the issue that I had with the city. And I want to thank you for it. It was the right thing to do. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have on a reader card here, Rosemary Marino Moody.
Good evening, Rosemary Marino Moody, City of Plymouth. I would like to express my concerns regarding the recent hiring process for the chief plant operator position within the City of Plymouth. Based on public records, it appears that the council approved funding for the position late in the evening, Thursday, June 26th, and that the position was filled only 1 week later per the staff picture on the city's website. I'm concerned that such a rapid turnaround may not align with equal opportunity employment standards, particularly regarding fair and open recruitment. A transparent and competitive hiring process helps ensure that all qualified individuals have a chance to apply and to be considered. This also strengthens public confidence in the integrity of the city's operations. The timeline in this case raises reasonable questions about whether the position was properly advertised and whether due diligence was observed. I respectfully request that the council provide clarification on the recruitment and selection process used, including how the position was posted, how long it remained open, and how candidates were evaluated. This kind of transparency is essential to maintaining the trust of the public and upholding the city's commitment to fair hiring practices. Cities must ensure their recruitment practices do not unintentionally discriminate against underrepresented groups by limiting their ability to seek and apply for open positions. So I'm concerned about that. I have experience in payroll and personnel because I was in a position for a public nonprofit doing those jobs, hiring processes for several years before I went to work for the Postal Service. And I also was on interview and selection committees for the Postal Service, and I have never seen any go as fast as this. We're talking the posting amount, receiving the applications, going through the applications to figure out who is eligible for an interview, the interviews, and then after interviews, going through background checks and reference checks on their employees before they're hired. So I'm concerned that with this case, being that his picture was already on the website within a week, showing that he was hired, that due process wasn't done. It was, someone was already picked prior to the approval. Thank you.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Go ahead.
Andres, is there any policies on, or that you're aware of on how long the city is supposed to hold open a job listing?
Sitting here, I don't know. I'd have to look into it.
Okay, maybe that's something we can, if we don't have one, maybe it's something we can look at as a future policy.
I believe we posted as until filled, but I can understand some concern that was filled that quickly, so maybe look at that. Next, Marie Cantwell. Hello. You need, yeah, hit the button, and if you could talk real close into the mic so it picks it up for the people
Okay.
watching at home.
I'm nervous. Okay. Good evening. My name is Marie Cantwell, and I'm here tonight as Curtis's wife. I want to share with you briefly what his termination has meant for our family. Since February, we faced enormous emotional and financial stress because of what happened with Curtis's unemployment and denial, and that we believe was wrongful. We've been forced to choose between paying bills and buying groceries. We've had to cancel our son's graduation celebration, and we couldn't even be there for the birth of our first grandchild. There are moments we'll never get back. I understand that the city manager, Margaret Roberts, isn't here tonight. If she's experiencing a personal loss, I offer my sympathies, and I wish her no harm. But our family should not have to wait another 2 weeks for her performance to be reviewed. This matter has already gone on far too long. A special meeting really needs to be held. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience who would like to speak before I close this on any matter that's not on the agenda? Or not being heard
Or
tonight?
on those items that got.
Or not being heard tonight, yeah.
John Coburn, Plymouth City, resident, former city council member, former county supervisor. I just want you board to know, things go on. You're at a turning point right now in, with resignations of your fellow council members. But the health of this community is unbelievable. The turnout that we had in support of the Veterans Park with a request overnight, we had 32 people show up to help with that. The events that we had thought we were going to get 50 or 60 people, we had over 200. Things are healthy and well in Plymouth, and they will work out. And you guys, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll get through this. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak tonight on matters not on the agenda or matters that were pulled from the agenda?
I'm just in time.
Just in time. Perfect.
Hi, Jamie LaBanco, Amador County Fair Board of Directors, Plymouth Foothills Rotary Club past president. Unlike my father, not a former Board of Supervisors member. That should make everybody chuckle. Hey, I wanted to, I think Dad probably acknowledged, but I did want to come here and acknowledge the incredible turnout we had for the ribbon cutting at the Veterans Park. And our Rotary Club's gratitude to the city of Plymouth for their assistance with that project. It is just really an incredible project, and we were overwhelmed by the response from the community. We had several hundred people at that event. So thank you so much to the city, and the work there continues. Wearing my Amador County Fair Board hat, I just snuck out of that meeting to come chat with you guys. The Amador County Fair has a kind of a continual parking problem. We just continue to exceed our parking sometimes. Primarily on rodeo and destruction derby night, and the construction on Highway 49 is certainly going to impact that this year. We have spoken with the contractors, and they are going to stop construction during Fair Week. So we won't have a mix of people bringing in pigs and people working there on the highway and all of those things. We also have asked the city to be thoughtful in the no parking signs and how many and how vigorously we place them. The fair is certainly aware of the fact that members of this community do not want fair goers blocking their driveways. But sometimes we go a little overboard and we put no parking signs on every single little post and stick in this town, and that might not always be necessary. So we're hoping this year you might give us a little leniency there. We have plans for parking expansion, but that will not happen this year. So we hope this is our last year where we're kind of at max capacity. But we really appreciate your efforts to help us with that. Amador County Fair is the happiest place on dirt this year. It is the last weekend of July, moving into the first Sunday, August 2nd, I think we go into this year. You guys are also fair sponsors. You're very generous to our fair and to people who come to our fair. We really appreciate that. So we do hope we see you out there.
You also made the
Thank you.
derby.
Okay, thank you. I also, not wearing either of those hats, want to say that you guys find yourself probably in a little bit of a hard position right now, but I think everybody that's been paying attention knows that the situation that the city might find itself in right now is nothing that the three of you have contributed to. And I think by and large, the community really appreciates you guys taking on these roles and asking tough questions and participating in this process to represent your community so well. So please know that you're really respected for this.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks, Jamie.
So I actually am going to perfectly segue. I'm Michael Spinetta from Hawksview, taking off the treasurer hat, putting on the junior fair board hat to promote Jamie, who is in charge of that. That was one of the things I was going to bring up. That at the fair kickoff dinner this year, one of Jamie's kids in the junior fair board is going to, Charlie Simmons is going to have a drone there for everybody at the dinner to see. So that should be pretty exciting, but it's like 6 to 12 feet big. It's like enormous. So that's going to be a fun dinner, and the junior fair board, of which my girlfriend's daughter, Vita Dean, is on there as the communications director, and one of my former students and one of your former AV guys here, Morgan Chase, he was here with Carter. Morgan's also on the junior fair board. So it's kind of neat. Then three other, there's Rachel and a few others on there, and it's a good group of kids, and you'll see them at the fair. So watch for that. And then second, with the lifeguards, stopped by and said hi to them. And Asia there, she's kind of the manager, and she's going to be writing a little promo article. In fact, she sent it to me a few minutes ago, and I'm going to edit that and give it to Miss Vicky to edit. And we'll give that to Jack to put in the paper because she said attendance kind of peaked and then went down a little bit. So she just wants to get more promotion and tell people you get a free otter pop with paid admission to the pool. And so good stuff there. She used to write articles for the Upcountry newspaper. Got some smart kids there, and they know that they were picked really well. So thank you for that. And they're pretty prideful of their jobs there. And then third, put on the treasurer hat. Just wanted to say thank you to Andy for all his work and what he said here last week. It's a lot of work on the budget for them, and he and everybody involved is working on it. So anyway, everyone will get through that, and we'll see you at the fair too. Okay, bye.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Thanks. Is there anyone else who would like to speak either on matters not on the agenda or the matters that have been pulled tonight, which were 7.2, 8.1, and 9.2? Okay, with that, seeing no one, I'm going to close public comment and move on to item 4.1, presentation by Fire Chief Rob Withrow on the 4th of July event.
Good evening. For those of you who don't know, my name is Robert Withrow. I'm the fire chief for the Amador Fire Protection District. Appreciate the invite tonight. I'll keep this short, but I do want to explain what we did and what we provided as your fire department. So I think it's important to understand that. So last year during the fireworks event, we were staffed. Things worked out fine, but there was some potential there for things to get out of hand. So to mitigate that this year, we organized things a little differently. What we did was we broke Main Street up into 2 divisions. We established an incident commander, an operations section chief, and some other things that put us in a position where, God forbid, if there was an emergency or some kind of large scale unforeseen event, our reaction time was going to be much shorter in terms of getting ahead of that and starting to mitigate the emergency itself. And all that worked out well. I'm very thankful. Much of our staffing, we staffed 4 additional engines in the city of Plymouth, 2 water tenders, and all of that was done with volunteer staff. So I just want to recognize our volunteers, one of which is in the audience. Mr. Doug Hill took time out of their holiday to come here and staff those engines. In addition, we brought in a battalion chief on overtime. So for the city of Plymouth, your fire department at no extra cost staffed 4 additional engine companies, 2 water tenders, and an additional battalion chief, myself, prevention, and our PIO. And the reason I share that with you is not to brag. I guess it is a little bit to brag, but I want you to know we don't look at Plymouth like a contract. We look at Plymouth like it's part of our district, which it is. And, we staff up extra for Electra Road for the holiday weekend, and obviously we bear those costs. Same thing for the city of Plymouth. So we're humbled to be your fire department. It's something we take serious. I think events like the 4th of July are an opportunity for us to demonstrate that humility and make sure we're taking care of business for you. So that's what we did. Pretty uneventful 4th. We did have a couple of illegal fireworks that snuck in. And I know it seems like it's easy to catch them because they're right there on Main Street, but it's not. It kind of becomes a cat and mouse game. Thankfully, our deputies, we had 2 deputies here committed to Main Street, myself, our prevention officer, etc. We just sort of crowded those areas and that activity subsided. Beyond that, pretty uneventful this year. I thought it was a great family event, and we look forward to it next year if the city chooses to keep that going. So that's all I have. End of report, unless you guys have any questions for me.
I have a couple.
Sure.
I'd like to say, number one, on behalf of the city, I noticed the incredible increased staffing, and it's very appreciated.
Yeah, you bet.
And I also noticed how many of your personnel showed up in the morning for the ribbon cutting for the Veterans Park.
Yeah.
I was a little shocked to see what a big turnout you had there, and I think that meant a lot to people.
Yeah.
And so that's very appreciated.
Thank you.
And
It was our honor.
and I think it's great, a concern I'm having, and people have tried to push this in the public, is with the continued use of illegal fireworks getting snuck in, getting in a situation where this event's ruined for everyone.
Right.
And
That's a legit
I'm-
concern.
I was planning to attend that, and unfortunately I was called away for a work issue, and so I didn't get to see it that night. But I'm wondering if, you know, I hate to say it, but it's like, I don't want this event to be lost for probably 1,000 people that attend it.
Right.
If next year further steps need to be put in place as far as, you know, it's not something I'm normally for, but cameras or something to help you pick out who's putting out illegal fireworks and dealing with that with the sheriff's office or however you do that. And I don't want this event lost.
Yeah,
I don't want
me
this
either.
event ruined. And it's become a big thing. You know, we had a big turnout for our parade, which was great. And the
Yeah.
4th of July in Plymouth is becoming a big thing, and I don't want to see it ruined.
Yeah.
So appreciate everything you did.
Sure.
And if you have other ideas, I'd like to see maybe you consult with the city and with the sheriff's office in advance of next year's event so we can continue to have a safe event and, you know, as large as it is.
One thing I'd say, I agree with you on that, and I appreciate those concerns. We are looking at ways to make that better, and I'll report out on that. But one thing I want to say that was different about this year, when we did have the illegal activity, we had many more people rushing us saying, hey, I saw this person or that person. Last year, we had none of that. And the reason I share that is, I think many of the people in attendance share your sentiment with, they don't want a few, you know, goofballs to ruin it for everybody else. And I agree with you, and I message received, we'll try to work on something to make that a little safer next year.
And if there's anything you need from the city as far as moving forward with that, or the sheriff's office, talk to us and talk to the sheriff's
Yeah.
office. And I think that's a really important event now. It's becoming a big event, and
Yeah,
whatever we're gonna have to do to keep it.
I agree. And I think having the 2 dedicated deputies was huge, so.
And do you feel we had enough deputies, or should we ask for more? Or they're not here. I haven't had a chance to talk to them, so I don't know how the event went. Like I said, I got called away.
From my perspective, I felt like it was pretty good.
Everything
If
went
that
pretty good.
crowd grows much more, we should probably increase it.
Yeah. But you think we had it handled this year then?
I do, yeah. I feel like we were well positioned. God forbid if something went down, I think we were in a good position to turn the corner rather quickly on from being reactionary to being proactive, so.
Well, thank you again. I think you guys did an incredible job. I was amazed when I saw how many people you had on the streets and how many you had over there. So thank you.
Cool, you bet, you're welcome.
Thank you, Rob. Go.
There was no alcohol.
Yeah, we had no, I don't even think there was any fights this year, as crazy as that sounds.
Really?
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah,
And I also heard about your guest of all, she can see too, this popular for someone that's on the illegal fireworks.
Yeah.
Or even, you know,
yeah.
away, so.
I think it went really well this year. There's always things we can do better from the fire department standpoint, but all in all, I feel like it was a successful event. And, you know, look forward to next year.
Thank you. You're a huge part of making it a successful event. So
All right,
we
thank
notice
you.
that and we appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, moving on, item 4.2, presentation from Jim Rooney, Amador County Assessor's Office.
Hello, council. I come to this jurisdiction once a year to give you updates on how Plymouth is growing in terms of property assessments. And as well as, I have some interesting information this year about numbers of residences in the Plymouth area and in the county. There are some interesting trends going on. And so anyway, first of all, I want to tell you that last year, assessments in the county went up 4.1%. And that's a pretty modest growth. That was a little bit more than we were expecting. Real estate right now is pretty stable. It's not particularly going up. And in some areas, it looks like it's softening a little bit. Regardless, throughout the county, just to let you know, Prop 13 is what I deal with each year. It allows property assessments to go up 2% a year. If there's new construction or change of ownership, that's unlimited in its growth. Generally, we value the new construction as to what the market would bear. And change of ownerships, most of the time, we honor the sales price of a property as the new assessed value. Not always, but a great majority of the time. Now, I submitted some handouts. I'm not sure. Did you guys get the data?
We have
Okay.
the list in our
Yeah,
packet.
good.
Here.
The one data that you have here is it shows the increase in assessed values. Now, I was wondering why this was so blurry and so small. Oh, great. No, that's very good. Thank you. It shows at the very bottom, not the very bottom, but I'm going to say, gosh, the fourth row from the bottom says 2025. You see that? It shows in each jurisdiction, Ione showed a 5.58% increase. Sutter Creek was a 3.35. Jackson was a 4.22. Plymouth was by far the largest increase in the county at nearly 10%, 9.93. Amador City was just under 2%. And the unincorporated area of the county, that is everywhere outside the cities in the county, was 3.1%. And I want to tell you that the right now assessments are rather stable. They're going up a bit. I talked to the county administrative officer. They wanted to know what we thought the increase was going to be. We thought it was going to be about 3.5%. 4.1%, that's a little bit better. And they were glad it wasn't less than that. But things are relatively stable. Basically, they're stable because of Prop 13. Prop 13 doesn't allow things to go up more than 2%. So it kind of depresses real estate assessments from going up too fast. At the same time, when the real estate market starts going down, it doesn't go down too fast either under Prop 13. So it's very stabilizing. All right. Now, Plymouth is an interesting area because it is over the past, I'm going to say 7 years. You can see there's been a 19% increase, 9%, 11, 5, 16, 4, and 10. That really is the most growth or the highest growth of assessments in the county. And some of that has to do with, I think, Zinfandel Ridge. So with that being said, I do want to tell you there's an interesting trend going on in the county right now. And there's another sheet I gave you with a rather large font. Can you put that one up there? No, that one right there.
Good.
I keep this data, and some of the data I keep is the number of residences in the county and in particular areas. And in the total county, as of last year, these numbers are pretty accurate. There's about 15,624 I guess I would call them single-family residences in the county. Last year, that increased by about 2%. But we do this thing, we keep track of primary residences. And primary residence, somebody might own 3 homes. They choose one as their primary residence. They get a little bit of a tax break, and we keep track of that. Primary residences in the county, right now, there's 8,293. Now, let's see, Plymouth, as you can see, there's 418 single-family residences. 230 of them are primary. Now, I'm going to ask you to go to that other sheet. Now, I'll tell you when you get to it. That one right there. There's something interesting going on in the county. Do you see the bottom left? That's the total county. The total number of residences over the about past 5 years has gone from 14,975 to 15,624. That's not a whole lot. That's a little, almost 650 new residences in 5 years. Most of that was in Ione. A good portion was in Plymouth. Now, the column to the left of that is primary residences. Now, I'm not showing the 2 years prior to that, but for 6 years straight, the number of primary residences in the county has been decreasing, which means maybe there's more rental properties, but there are fewer residences that people call their primary residence. And I'm not saying it's good or it's bad or it's troubling. I'm just saying there are less of them. And I went to a meeting not too long ago, and they talked about Sacramento County is planning from Excelsior Boulevard to Sunrise Boulevard, 100,000 new homes. 100,000. Over the past 5 years, Amador County's had 649 new homes over 5 years. And again, I'm not saying that's good or bad. Some people would say, boy, we're not growing. Other people would say, boy, I like that our county is stable and we're not turning into Galt or Folsom, Elk Grove. I'm here to tell you, our county's not growing. We're very stable. And again, is it good or bad? It's up to you to decide. But it's something that it's an observation that I've made that I wanted to share with you. Our assessments are moving up stable. We have a very stable assessment base. I don't see things changing too much, although if there's any question marks in the county, I would say Plymouth is the question mark. As you drive into Plymouth, you have quite a lot of construction coming in. And is that going to affect Plymouth? It probably will. How? I'm not exactly sure. In our office, we deal with what has happened, not with what is going to happen. So anyway, that's what's going on in the county and specifically Plymouth. Now, Plymouth, I'm always providing some data in terms of names, addresses, mailing addresses for some reason, somebody's needing it in your office, and you would know it probably. Yeah. But if there's any other data you need, our office, we're kind of the genesis of all data in the county. We're the ones that put in the addresses. We're the ones that know how many houses there are, the square foot of those houses, the value of those houses. And we have a lot of data that if you need it, please let us know.
Sir,
And that's what's going on in Plymouth and the county as of this past tax year. Yes.
I was just curious, the discrepancy in the amount of primaries that's going down to secondaries, is that because of so many homes now becoming these Airbnbs? Is that the issue there? Because I know the county has been addressing that,
Yeah.
or was talking about it.
Yeah, that could be a little bit of it. When you look at those numbers, last year, the number of primary residences in the county, wow, actually went down quite a bit, 8,431 to 8,293, 200 and looks like 38 less primary residences. That's rather interesting to me. And part of it could be people just haven't signed up their home to be a primary residence. What that primary residence is, people fill out a homeowner's exemption card. It's a homeowner's exemption. It exempts your property from $7,000 of assessed value. And it used to be, back in maybe 1976, someone would get a $7,000 exemption on their $35,000 property. That's 20%. They've never changed that $7,000. Now you get a $700,000 or a $7,000 exemption on your $700,000 house. That's 1%. A lot of people probably saying, geez, I don't even want to bother with it. It's $70.
So then we're not losing a great amount, yeah.
Yeah, that could be part of it too.
Yeah.
But, we have a few new houses, less primary residences. It's very static. We're not changing a whole lot. And by the way, some people will view that in different ways. Some people say good, some people say bad, some people say it's what it is. So it's information as of right now. So any other questions?
We appreciate getting the information, so thank you for being here.
Sure, and I think I've come about the last 10, 12 years straight. And I'll see you next year unless you say, stay out of Plymouth. for a while.
Well, no, sir, I think we definitely
All right.
appreciate having these numbers and being able to look at the trends.
Well, thanks a lot. Any questions? Yeah, you can always contact our office.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here tonight.
Bye.
Yeah. Okay, just a second here. So moving on, item 5, consent calendar items. Correspondence wise, do we have anything? That's all.
Dana, do you know if we have any correspondence?
Not on this item.
Okay. So I guess look for a motion to approve the consent calendar.
We should also take public comment first.
Oh, excuse me. Any public comment on item 5? Consent calendar items.
Bless you.
Hearing none, I guess we'll move for,
Make a motion to approve the consent calendar items as proposed.
Second.
Councilmember Cranford,
Aye.
Councilmember Hornish,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Nunn.
aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Okay. Item 6. Hold a public hearing, adopt resolution authorizing the placement of unpaid delinquent sewer service and water tax bills on the 2025-26 Amador County property tax roll.
Yeah, so as you'll remember, a few meetings back, the council authorized sending out those notices for delinquent water and sewer charges. Those notices have gone out. What we've got here tonight is kind of the last step in that process of placing those on the tax roll, which is to hold the hearing to hear any objections or protests to those notices for the properties that were noticed. At this time, we've still got 3 properties with delinquent charges. So I suggest that we open the public hearing, take any public comment, and then bring it back for consideration of the resolution to place these delinquent charges on the tax roll.
Okay, well, I will take that recommendation this time. Open it for public hearing. Anybody wish to speak on this matter? Okay. And we received no written comment on this.
Not on this item, no.
Okay, and just out of my own curiosity, the properties that we're dealing with, those people understood or were they noticed that we were having?
Yeah, they were provided the required notice for this item.
That we were having this, okay.
That's part of the process for going through this every year.
Yeah, I figured it was, just making sure. So with that being said, I guess I'm looking for a motion on this. Oh, excuse me, I'm gonna close public comment on this matter. And unless council members have anything to say on it, I'm looking for a motion.
A motion to approve item 6. Adopting the resolution 2025-13, authorizing the placement of unpaid delinquent sewer service and water bills upon the 25-26 Amador County property tax roll.
A second.
Councilmember Cranford,
Aye.
Councilmember Hornish,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Nunn.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Item 7.1, receive resignation letter from former Mayor Amoruso and former council member Felina. Discussion and possible action to proceed with filling vacancies by appointment or special election and choose a new mayor and vice mayor. At this point, I think we'll open that for public comment now, or do you want to do it after discussion?
I've got a short presentation just to kind of outline the options on how to fill the
okay,
vacancies, if you want to hear that first.
Yeah.
So as I think everybody in the room knows, we received 2 resignations from the council since the last meeting. Councilmember Felina's resignation was effective June 30th, and Mayor Amoruso's was effective on July 7th. Given those two vacancies on the council has two options to fill those vacancies within 60 days of the effective date of each. First option is to fill them by appointment, as you had done for Councilmember Felina earlier this year. The second option would be to call a special election to fill those vacancies. So if we were to go the appointment route, we would post the notice that's included in the packet tonight to solicit applications for interested applicants. Our recommendation would be to keep that open for a few weeks until the end of July, and then either interview candidates at the first August meeting or hold a special meeting, since the meeting in August, the first meeting isn't until August 14th, to hold a special meeting in the first week of August to interview interested candidates to get the process moving a little bit more expeditiously than if we were to wait until the second week in August. The other option is to go the special election route, and that's where the timing in the election code gets a little bit tricky for us. The deadline for putting this on the ballot for this coming November, which is the next available election date per the elections code, is this Sunday. So we've spoken with county elections, and so they would need to know from us tomorrow if the council decides to call a special election in order to fill the vacancy this November, both vacancies this November. If we were to make that decision to call an election still within that 60-day period, but after the Sunday, then the next available election date bumps out to the first or second week in April of next year. Whether or not it's the first or second week, because the election dates in April next year are different based on whether or not you have a mail ballot only election or you also allow in-person voting. So if we were to go the special election route, my recommendation would be to act on that tonight so that we don't miss another 5 months of opportunity for an election date later this year and early next year.
Do we just want to come out and say how we feel now?
No. We're gonna do a public-
My recommendation would be to take public comment first,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
if you want to, I'll leave.
No,
you
that's
all.
fine.
No, we need
Public comment
to go to public comment and definitely need to hear the public on this.
Yeah, unless anybody had any questions about what I've said. If we go the election route, there's a resolution in the packet that would need to be adopted to officially call the election, but we'll get to that as we proceed with this item.
Well, I think I'd like to go to public comment on it. I think there's time. So at this point, I'm going to open this matter to public comment. Anyone in the public would like to speak?
Oh, one other quick piece. Staff does not have a recommendation on this item.
Okay.
I know we typically have a staff recommendation on items. On this one, we do not.
Thank you.
John, real quick before you start, can we just get how much a special election costs?
Right, yes.
Clarification on that.
So there wasn't time to have the county elections run a detailed estimate, but they said it should be approximately the same amounts that were quoted late last year when there was a vacancy. And so if we were to go the election route and were to go with an all-mail ballot, they said it would be approximately $11,000 to run the election. And if we were to go with in-person voting as well, then it would be approximately $20,000.
And just to clarify for the public, that is for both candidates, not 11,000 for each one. It's altogether 11,000.
Correct. And
Yeah.
that quote was actually for one candidate. At that time, we hadn't yet gotten Mayor Amoruso's resignation, but that's to put on the election. There would likely be a minimal additional cost for additional printing costs for having two items on the election, but the bulk of the expense just comes from setting up an election in the first place.
Yeah. So for the most part, the citizens can see it's good around
Yeah, it's going to be
12,000.
roughly those numbers.
Yeah.
It'll likely be a slight bit higher, but that was the numbers I was given by county elections
Okay.
earlier this week.
Thank you. So John, sorry to keep you waiting.
My question, I was gonna ask the same question about the cost. What is the cost of the special election compared to the cost of going to an appointment?
With the appointment, there's virtually no cost. There's some additional staff time, I guess, associated with if there were to be a special meeting, but otherwise the cost of the appointment route is minimal.
Mhm.
So that number is $11,000 to go to is that my understanding?
For mail-in.
A little over 11, maybe.
Yeah,
That's for the mail-in.
11,000 for for an election where we only mail out ballots. It's roughly $20,000 if we were to also set up a polling place.
Yeah, and I don't think that if we do this, we would go that route. I think we would pick mail-in only.
Okay, my other question was, what is the time differential? If you went through the appointment process, how much time would that take? And how much time would it take to go to the special election? Or special election, I assume, is first week in November. When would the fastest time to go through the process?
That's a good question. I should have actually covered that up front. If we were to go the appointment route, somebody could be seated in each vacancy sometime in August. If we were to go with the election route, the election date is the first week in November. And so by the time election results are certified, we have a meeting, it likely pushes it to December. And for both of these positions, whether you appoint if you appoint someone to both of these positions, they would serve until November of 2026. If you were to run an election, I believe one of the positions would run to 2026 and the other would be to 2028 to fill out the remaining terms.
My understanding is even if we appointed someone to the term that has 3 years left on it. by
Correct,
doing
that
the
would only
appointment-
run until
Yeah,
2026.
Yeah,
Because the vacancy
Okay.
occurred in the first half of the
yeah,
term.
yeah.
The appointment only serves
In
until the
third
next
term.
general election, which is November 2026.
Yeah, and I think that we would be looking with time frame. By the time we post it and put it out, my feeling is it would be like the end of August probably. And so we're only talking basically September, about a month longer. If it was election wise.
September and October and then November.
Yeah, 2 months, 2 months longer if we were to do that. So, all right.
For the special election, they don't go into office till that is certified to be first of December.
The election would happen in the first week
Yeah.
of November, and then by the time the person is, or the individuals are sworn in, that would probably be in the first meeting in December.
So are we looking at 60 days? Is that your approximate time?
For filling by appointment, you mean?
Yeah, against the election.
If the council decides tonight to go the appointment route, I think it would be sooner than 60 days from now that the seats could be filled. The outside amount of time to act is 60 days from the effective date of the vacancy.
What I'm getting at is two considerations. One's the monetary, one is how long you're gonna be without the other two members. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Did we receive any? Oh, what is there?
I hate to make it the John Jamie show. I'm surprised you have so many people in your audience today and nobody's getting up and commenting on this item. Jamie Lebenko, Fiddletown resident, to be perfectly clear, Plymouth business owner. I would just like to say that I think I would like to see you guys. I know that your money is really tight right now. But I think if you take this to election, you give the citizens of this community the opportunity to make this decision. And you don't have to continually live with people questioning your decision and the decision of the person you appoint for the next year, which we've already seen that happen a couple times. And it seems to just create additional kind of concerns about the city council by your community when those appointments are being made. So I also know we don't really make decisions based on Facebook posts, but there's a couple of polls that have been circulating around this discussion about whether or not people in the community thought you should be making this appointment and or going the election route. I don't know what the results of those polls are. But anyways, I just feel like there's so much interest in this item. I'm quite shocked that nobody else is getting up here and adding their 2 cents. So that would be my 2 cents.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Rosemary Marino Moody, Plymouth, only for you, Jamie. Okay, I know that we're in some dire straits financially and you guys are looking to cut and all. The only thing right now is there's three of you and there's a lot of things coming down the pipe. There's a lot going on. And you're talking, 5 months before you could get someone in through an election. I'm wondering if it would make more sense to appoint, because they're not for long terms. It's not like they have to do all 4 years. So it's very possible to get someone that's interested to come in and try it out and run through until the next election, decide whether you want to run again or not. But I think that you guys need the support, because what happens to the city with only 3 of you here and one of you aren't here for a night, it's going to cause a meeting to be canceled. And you could have multiples of those between now and December. And you are at a really critical place with a lot of things in this town, including the new casino coming in. And I'm just worried that with the 3 of you, it might be too much burden for the 3 of you to take on by yourselves. And is it fair for the citizens of Plymouth to ask you to do that? Because I know all of you have been wonderful asking questions and you've got the best interests of the city in mind. I can see that with the way you ask questions and the way you respond to us. So I just wanted to put in my 2 cents that way. Thanks.
Thank you. Andreas, since there are 2 positions, would they be, let's say we go the appointment route, right? Would both of them come up for an election next year then in 26?
Yes.
Thank you.
If you appoint, they would both be up for election next year. One position because that term is up next year, the other position because the vacancy occurred in the first half. And so appointment would only be to fill the remainder of that first half of the term until that next general election.
Thank you for the clarification.
If you were to go to an election, one of the seats would run until November of 2026 and the other would run until November of 2028.
Anyone else would like to make comment on this?
My name is Matthew Dean. I live
turn your
outer.
Yeah.
My name is Matthew Dean. I live in the outer Plymouth area out by Steiner Road, so I'm not within your city limits. However, I've spent 20 years as an elected official, both as a council member and a school board member, which either means I'm mentally defective or I cared about my communities. You're going to catch hell either way. One thing that can happen you haven't considered is life happens. You could be crossing the street and all of a sudden you're down to 2. So I would urge you to save the money, make the appointments. You're going to catch hell either way. You'll catch hell for spending the money. You'll catch hell for making the appointments. But at least if you make the appointments, you've got some backup. You can spread the workload. And it still takes a majority of the board, the council, to pass a resolution. So even with 2 appointments, as long as you have 3 smart people who care and think, you'll be fine.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else that would like to make comment on this matter? All right, hearing none, we'll go ahead and close the public comment on this. And at this point, did I already ask her for the written comments on it?
Just Rusty Felina's public
Okay.
comment.
Do we? Huh? Yeah, okay. So with that, open it up for council discussion. We'll start with Wendy.
So I've given this a lot of thought and ultimately, I think I'd rather have a special election. Here's why. I believe that it upholds our democratic values and that the public will respect the seat of a person that's elected over appointed, as we've seen in the past. We tried appointment, didn't go well. When a person has to run for a spot, they have more skin in the game, so to speak. Yes, it is more costly. And I do want to say that in this time where we're facing some fiscal difficulties, it feels slightly irresponsible to have this viewpoint. However, I think that it's a worthy expense at this point in time. I think it increases transparency and trust with the community. Obviously, we're struggling with that a little bit regarding different trust issues. And so there can't be any question as to how the person got the seat if we have an election. And ultimately, the community gets to decide. And then the other thing is, and this is maybe minute, but it is something that crossed my mind. I believe that when a person is elected, they are more respected. And if they choose to run again, they are running as an incumbent that was elected the first time. Sometimes when you're appointed, I believe it diminishes your validity maybe in running in a future election. And maybe somebody would have a feeling that you received favors or something like that to get that appointment. So ultimately, that's where I stand on this issue. I just think that ultimately a special election is the way to go. And I hope I don't get hit by a car in a crosswalk in between now and then. Thank you.
Older.
Yeah, there's a lot of buses out here too. I just wanted to echo what Wendy was saying as far as validity and so on and so forth, and I'm totally with her on that. I think you also have more skin in the game when you get elected and you actively run for something that you think you want to stand for. I'm seriously struggling with the decision making on this process because the money and the time of it all, right? I mean, we heard some really good points here made tonight. And even if we appoint somebody, just gonna look at you. I take solace in the fact that they both end in 26 and they would have to run at that point. And so I believe that would be the better version for me personally.
So I pretty much agreed with everything Wendy was saying earlier about this. I kind of feel like it's too easy to walk away from something you didn't have to work for. And I think if somebody really wants to be up here, then they need to go out and make their case to the citizens and be elected. I wasn't comfortable the last time with the process. I was kind of for election, but I went along with it. And, my one question the only concern I would have is, so somebody would be running for a 1-year seat and there would be an opening for a 3-year seat. And how many people would put in the effort to put in their name, because you have to pick what seat you're running for. How many people would run for that 1-year seat with the work they have to do? And I don't know, Andreas, if I don't know if this makes any sense, but it is something that could be split. We decide on the 1-year seat appointment or something because it's only 1 year, and on the 3-year seat that goes to election. Could these be decided separately?
They could be decided separately. We
So
hadn't
with
presented it that way since the election is roughly the same cost to do both that way. But yes, theoretically, you could have 1 seat by appointment and 1 seat by election. That would get you to have a 3-1 to adopt anything if you had 4 council members until the election.
So, the reason I bring this up to you, when I ran for this position, it was, I had to pick what seat I was running for, and I picked a 2-year seat. And I had personal reasons for picking that particular seat. And I had so many people come up to me and tell me, like, why did you pick the 2-year seat? You would have won one of the 4-year seats. And I was like, I got that, and I appreciate people saying that. They didn't understand. I wanted that seat for a certain reason, but I think that what that told me was that as I think about that, how many people will put in the effort for a 1-year seat? And so I think back at that and I kind of wonder, and I'd like to, that being said, go back to my colleagues and ask about that idea, what you think on that, because I'm telling you, I'm not for appointment. If it comes down to it, we're, you know, if it came down to my decision, we're going to go to election. But on that, yeah. Well, Holger, what would you think about, I have real concerns about the 1-year seat. So what would you think?
Well,
about
for starters, I think you're a real smart cookie for thinking outside the box that way. And as your words were coming out, internally, I was thinking, I kind of like that. Because I think inevitably we're satisfying both sides or, you know, both teams. And I think to several points here, I mean, we do need somebody up here with us sooner rather than later. I don't think we're gonna not meet just for the type of personality that we have for punishment as well.
I
but-
think we all take pride in making all these meetings.
And
It's
so if we can
happen.
split it, I think I'd be happy with that.
It seems like a good compromise to me. It feels a little like we're not getting our money's worth somehow in my in my brain, like that we're not putting both on a ballot. But I do agree that a 3-year seat, a run for that people would be probably more likely to throw their hat in the ring for something like that. Cause really, when you think about it, a 1-year seat really isn't even a 1-year seat. It's more like 11 months. It's like by the time they actually get,
Well, it would be a full year because by the time November 2026 election rolls around, that person who's.
Oh,
in that
yeah,
seat
I
will
see
still
what-
be around until the election results.
I see what you're saying.
2026 or so.
Okay.
So not to interrupt Wendy, but one other question that might help you here, if you don't mind,
no,
is, so if we were to split this and we told the elections department that we're going to go to election on one of these seats, we put the other one out, okay? Would, if we didn't get any candidates for the 1-year seat, or we felt like there wasn't a viable candidate for the 1-year seat, would we still be able to just add that other seat on because we started the election
You
process?
couldn't add the second seat at
Okay.
that point. The notice period and the filing paperwork for running will basically start in the coming weeks with the county elections office starting to get that ramped up.
Is
So-
there a negative impact if we say we want both to go and then change our mind and appoint for the 1-year term?
If you say you want both to go and change your mind, then you can't. Once you say go to county elections, that's the path you've chosen. Once you adopt that resolution calling for the election, that's the path you're committed to.
Understood, thank you.
And if you were to call for an election for one now, solicit applicants, be dissatisfied with those applicants and decide you want to call for an election for that second one as well, then you'd be calling a special election for next April as well and looking at incurring the same costs again.
So, yeah, I was gonna say, I kind of interrupted your time. Go ahead.
I wanted to ask a question. Would we be allowed to take a second public comment now that we have this different idea?
Sure, up to you, but I think
Would
that's
that
totally
be
reasonable.
okay? I would, if anybody's here that would like.
Yeah, that'd be fine if anybody wants to talk about that idea.
I just wanted to give you a little bit of history, interesting history. This very issue came up, some in, 25 years ago. And, my brother was on the council and he was up for reelection. And there was a short term of, there was a 2-year term and a 4-year term on the ballot. I told the city clerk at the time, I did not want to run against my brother under any circumstances. And he was running for 4-year terms instead of 2. Or he was running for the 2 instead of the 4. And when the ballot came out, I was shocked. She put it exactly the opposite way that I had asked to be. and I ended up running against my brother. So it's pretty clear. You got to be very clear what seat you're running for. But it's an interesting thing when that happens, that, you know, whether you're running for the 2 or 4 year term.
Thank you, John.
And just to be clear, candidates make that election as to which of the seats they'd be running for.
Yes, they have to pick it, yeah. Any other comment? Rosemary?
Rosemary Marino Moody, Plymouth. I like the idea because you just don't know, God help, if something happened to one of you guys. I mean, honestly. Well, no, but you know, if you don't prepare for it, it ultimately seems like it happens, right? So I think it's a great for that, because you know, for a 1 year term, you might not get a whole lot of people to run for it anyway for 1 year. That's a lot of work, a lot of campaigning, a lot of knocking on doors for 1 year. So that's a great thing. But you also have to look, just because you guys had a bad experience with appointing someone, there have been many people appointed to the city council over the years that stayed on, and they also went in to be elected. So I don't know that the percentages of people quitting after they have been appointed is that high in the city of Plymouth, just to say. And I don't know that anyone would solicit their name to really be on council if they really didn't want to do it. So that's just my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak?
Kathleen Johnson, City of Sutter Creek, Director of Public Works. As this one gentleman had said earlier, it makes complete sense to me. If you go for 2 people to be on the election and you go 5 months with 3 council members, you never know what might happen. I mean, my life's been turned upside down in the last 5 or 6 months. And I don't wish that on anybody, but it's a possibility. And with only 2 council people, the city business is going to come to a complete halt. I mean, to me, that's a scary thought. And I wish that all 3 of you, everything goes great, everything's happy, but you know, sometimes you're hit from the backside with something you aren't expect to come along. And 5 months before you get a 4th person is 5 months that you could be stuck without a quorum. And it just concerns me as somebody who's been employed here for a long time, that could be a real serious issue. So I don't want to say you should vote one way or the other. It's not up to me, it's up to you. I just wanted to bring up that fact. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak on this matter? Anyone at all before I close it? Yeah. All right, I'm gonna close public comment. And with that, I don't know if we want to redirect.
And I'm comfortable with an appointment of a 1 year term and an election for the 3 year.
If that's the motion, I would second it.
Well, I was going to talk, but I was going to say is that I've been conflicted on this a lot because I very much believe in the election process and letting people choose, especially the way it's gone before. But I've had serious concerns, and what Kathleen brought up here tonight is, I'll be honest, I knew tonight was an important night for me to be here, and I had my fingers crossed most of the afternoon because, you know, my particular line of work, I don't know in the morning where I'm going to end up at night. I don't know I'm going to be able to make it to the meeting. And so I would feel fairly confident if we had 4 members seated up here. I would feel way better about things. There's already been times since I've been on the council that the other members have been very gracious. I couldn't make it, and we moved meeting nights, and that was all done for me. And so I have that concern. And I would like to say, and what I said before, I just don't feel we're going to get a lot of people campaigning for the 1 year spot. So that being said, I'm gonna leave it up to you too. You guys, you decide, make whatever motion you guys want.
Do we even motion, Andreas? We're, okay. Okay, so we do that motion separate from the mayor and vice mayor. We don't have to decide that right now. Okay. Okay,
I'm sorry. If you do want to move to approve the resolution calling the election, I would ask that you do that with the amendment of changing it to read for the 3-year position rather than calling for both of the positions.
okay. I'm gonna take a stab at this. Okay. I would like to motion to have a 1-year appointment or an appointment for the 1-year city council seat that is left and a special election for the 3-year seat that is left. Is that okay? Sorry, it's pretty choppy.
And you move to approve resolution 2025-16, amending it to be only for the election of the 3-year seat rather than the 2 as it had been included in the packet.
Wait, hold on. Where am I reading that at?
So in the packet after the staff report and after the notice, there's resolution 25-16, which is the resolution calling the election.
I don't think we got that.
I don't think I have it.
Hang on.
All right, let's take a 5-minute break then.
Okay,
All right,
we're gonna take a 5-minute break.
Yeah, 5-minute break.
All right, so in the break, I got an extremely good question from one of the members of the audience. So I do want to add this to your consideration of how you want to handle this. And that is, what if somebody files an application for an appointment, doesn't get appointed by you, but still wants to run for the other seat? At that point, the filing period for the election becomes very critical to our timeline for when you do the appointment. In looking at what I got, the information I got from county elections, it looks like the filing period for this November election will run from July 14th, 2025 to August 8th, 2025. And that August 8th is before our first meeting in August. Therefore, if you want to appoint one, but leave open the possibility that any candidates who want to run, if they aren't appointed, means you would want to do interviews and make a selection of the appointment before August 8th.
That's a pretty tight timeline too, for the people, I think.
And fair.
So August 8th
Sorry.
is the second Friday in August.
And fair's the week before, and I'm gonna be gone the 5th through the 10th. Like on a plane gone.
So
So one option would be to have a meeting on Friday, August 1st.
That's fair. That's
I
the
know.
Friday of fair. Oh my
I
God.
can't do that.
Dealing with a tricky timeline here.
What about July 31st?
No, that's Miss Amador. Mm-mm. No, no, no.
The meeting have to be at night.
It does not. I will say that the public is accustomed to having meetings in the evening, though.
All right, well, I can't do during the weekdays very much, but I'm just saying in an emergency, we could have a special meeting on a Saturday at 10 o'clock.
Could also have a meeting on a weekend, correct?
Okay, so if we decide on the appointment for the 1 year tonight, you have to notice it.
If you, it's not, it's, yeah, posting notice to solicit applications, correct?
And how long does that have to stay open?
We recommend no shorter than 10 days, I believe, per city policies, but realistically, you want to go a couple weeks to get a good.
So that
selection of
wouldn't be till the
applications.
24th, which is our next meeting.
Yep.
So we could do a special meeting on the 25th or 28th.
I can do the 28th.
What do I have on the 28th? I think I can do the 28th in the evening. Dawn,
What day of the week's that? Trying to,
Monday,
Monday, the 28th.
if there's no fire, that's where we get sticky.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Cause all three of us have to be here, right? To do
Yeah.
the interview.
Yes.
Time like this, it'd sure be nice to have Zoom in place. I guess I could probably try for that Monday night.
So one of you could participate by Zoom under the traditional teleconference rules where your location is posted ahead of time.
We could,
We
One
don't have it
person
set
could.
up.
one person.
I can be here.
I can be here. So in the event you were on an emergency. But even then, he has to notice.
He'd have to notice it for 1 day, so we'd need to post notice for 1 day. Of
We
where
can post a notice, and then if I show up, I show up.
Meaning you would post.
Oh, if
it.
you're here instead, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
So you just have to remember to go post it on Sunday afternoon.
but it has to be at his location.
Oh.
The notice.
Yes.
Yeah, it has to be where you are.
I think we just do it and hope for the best.
Okay.
Time? What time? 6:30 normal?
Yeah.
Later the better, actually.
The later the better?
The later the better. If it's on a weekday. Huh?
You want to call it 7 o'clock?
7's fine.
7's fine.
July 28th. 7 p.m.
Okay, so I've got a recommended motion. Do you want me to read that to you now?
Yes, please.
Based on the understanding that the council would like to fill former council member Felina's seat by appointment and the former Mayor Amoruso's seat by special election. Correct? Okay. So then the recommended motion would be, I move to approve resolution 25-16, calling for a special election to fill the vacancy created by former Mayor Amoruso's resignation, and move to direct staff to publish notice to solicit applications to fill the vacancy created by the resignation of former council member Felina by appointment, with applications or letters of interest being accepted until July 24th by the close of business, by the city's close of business that day. And with a special meeting being called for 7 PM on July 28th to interview applicants for that position.
I make a motion to do that. So moved.
I second.
Councilmember Cranford,
Aye.
Councilmember Hornish,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Nunn.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
All right, 7.2 we put off.
We don't
All
have
right.
And so
City
just to
manager
explain for
report.
everybody, there's going to be a notice posted to start soliciting applications for the vacancy tomorrow here on the city's website, and I think social media, and we're just going to try and get the word out there to get the city as many good candidates as is humanly possible. And staff is going to work with county elections to get the ball rolling to get the other seat on the November ballot.
Yeah, and with that being said, just to make it clear, I'd like to see that posted everywhere, as many places as we can, this city website, Facebook, anywhere and everywhere, to make sure that people are aware. And
You're talking about the elected seat as well, right?
yeah, both seats, but obviously this one is the pressing time wise. Okay. Okay, so
Oh, no, we still
have
have the mayor and vice mayor.
You still have mayor and vice mayor on this item. You haven't acted on that. And if you'd like to take another public comment round on that, I think again, that would be reasonable.
I want to push that off. I'm not ready tonight. I'm not until the next meeting. I don't know where I'm at on it right now. And I don't think I'm gonna know tonight where I'm at on it. But if you still want to have public comment, I'll open it up.
I have a comment, but I'll wait till after the public.
Any public comment? So
We don't have to fill that position right now is what I'm getting at. It can stay open for the time being. Isn't that correct?
I'm double checking the municipal code right now to make sure we don't have a requirement that you have to do that tonight.
in the meantime, can Colger, do you want to make whatever you were gonna say?
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
do we have-
we have to close there's no public comment on this matter? No.
Why wait? And then I'll open that up to you guys if you want to respond. I cede the rest of my time to you for public comment if someone else wants to come up. But if you want to say that during, because I ceded you time, so why wait?
All right, I'm gonna close public comment. And Holder.
I would like to nominate Wendy Cranford for mayor.
Do I respond?
You can respond, you can second. Up to you.
I mean, I accept the nomination.
To vote on it, I think we would need a second still.
sorry, didn't know because he nominated. I didn't know if it was because he didn't motion.
I also would like to hear from Don,
Oh,
though,
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
please.
I already spoke. I said I'm not ready to vote on it tonight, but you're calling the vote, so go ahead with the vote.
But do you have a particular reason? Do you want to share or you don't have to? I'm just.
No, I know I don't have to. I'm not planning to. So go ahead.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but even the new person that would be sitting here next to us wouldn't qualify for being a mayor due to the lack of experience.
Well, it'll depend. I mean, that's going to depend how we handle things in the future. So anyways, let's just move forward with it. Like I said,
Okay, I guess I'll second my own nomination. That's odd. But I just know Don has fires that he has to go on in the summer, so that's a little bit of a concern. So I mean, Holger threw my hat in the name. I'm happy to take it. My hat in the name, my name in the hat.
So we've got a motion and a second.
Let's see. Councilmember Cranford,
I
Councilmember Hornish,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Nunn.
I'm going to abstain.
Okay, motion does not pass.
No, it does.
Oh, it does? I thought.
Yeah,
there
the
had to be-
two is a majority.
Thank you.
2 is a majority, abstention counts as a no vote, so we've got a 2-1. Or the effect of a 2-1, we've got 1 abstention from Councilmember Nunn. Does anybody want to do anything with the vice mayor position or keep that with Councilmember Nunn? All right,
Yeah, I'm fine.
okay.
There are 2 votes for Councilmember Cranford, so congratulations. You're now mayor. I now turn it over to you. Turn the meeting over to you.
Well, no, I know that. We're almost done. So you know what, we're done. So unless you guys have something on item,
We've got council member reports and requests for future agenda items. And then we've got 1 closed session.
If anybody-
2 closed session
if
items.
anybody has, yeah, if you have anything to add to that, go ahead.
Do you want me to go first for council member and mayor and whatever,
Yeah.
the report?
Yeah.
Okay, for council member.
Item 7.2 was continued to the next meeting.
Council member report for myself is just ACRA will meet again soon. And I wanted to just, this 4th of July was probably the best 4th of July I've ever had in my 44 years on earth. Seeing my grandpa's name on that monument at the Veterans Park was super touching. Sorry. He was my hero. And so having his name permanently engraved somewhere in Plymouth, wow. So Rotary, I cannot thank the Rotary enough for doing that for Plymouth and for all of the people that dedicated their time, money, resources, energy. I just can't say enough about it. I think it's a beautiful, wonderful thing for Plymouth to have, and it will be there for generations. And the fact that kids are going to be the ones that tend the gardens there, I don't know who came up with that idea, but that is an incredible idea. It incorporates our young people into the community, and gives them a sense of pride for something that's beautiful standing in our community. So I just want to say that. The parade, I think it was like the best attended parade we've had. It started a little bit late with our grand marshal, but it was fun. It was our 20-year anniversary of that parade. Obviously, I've been going to the parade. I'm sure I've gone to it for all 20 years, with the exception, I think, of 1. And then the fireworks in the evening were amazing. And gosh, it was a really awesome, memorable, small town America 4th of July, and I'll never forget it. So I just wanted to say that. Our community is amazing.
No, I don't have anything. You got something?
No, I just want to echo what Wendy said and, listening to Jamie's amazing performance at the Veterans Park. And kudos to John Colburn, who, lived and breathed it every single day. And I was privileged enough to be able to help out a few times. And just to see the camaraderie out there and the city come together is just fantastic. I also love the parade. I think it was probably one of the biggest, most attended parade. And as far as reports, I don't have any, and council requests for future agenda items, I also don't have any currently.
Yeah, I'll say council reports, I don't have any. It was a great 4th of July event, so, echo what everybody else is saying. And future agenda items, I feel like I have a whole lot of them out there already. We just need to get them scheduled. Yep. Oh,
Do I adjourn
Yeah.
now or does Dawn?
So first we take comments on the closed session items, if anybody wants to
Oh.
speak on closed session.
But item 9.1, legal counsel anticipated litigation. Anybody can speak on that?
All right, seeing none, then yeah, we would adjourn.
And then, oh, you gotta say 9.2 also. Oh, yeah, it's taken
Well,
out.
we would adjourn the open session and or adjourn into closed session, I should say.
All right, so, but hearing nothing, meeting adjourned, we're gonna now move into closed session.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, can't hardly read it. What is it, 8:11? 8:11? I don't believe that one.
It's recording. Recording. Okay. Council met closed session with no reportable action. Wait, say it into a mic. The council met in closed session and took no reportable action. The meeting concluded at 9:33.